Peace and welcome to the Edible Activist Podcast. I am your host and favorite edible activist, Melissa L. Jones. Warm greetings as we approach 2025, or maybe you're already there if you're just now catching up, and that is okay. I want to take the time to express my deepest gratitude for my listeners, partners, any and everyone who has tuned into this show, not just this year, but since its inception. Thank you so much. I appreciate your support. I appreciate your listening ear, and I appreciate you sharing my podcast out. It is incredible that the reach goes beyond the US. There are listeners in the UK and other parts of the world who listen to this show. So if you are listening to this, yes, if you're based in the US, but if you're outside of the US, I appreciate you. I might not know what you look like, but please know that I am sincerely grateful. Reach is so important and just a blessing. So thank you all so much. I'm not going to be long, but I did want to use this time as I record this episode in my living room. I think it's past midnight to take the time to reflect on the journey of 2024. And I share my excitement to connect with you and to reflect. And I'm grateful. I feel good. I'm damn proud of myself. I love the people who are connected to me, who support me. I am just feeling really great. So definitely want to round out 2024 in naming some key milestones that have taken place. So, starting with the first one, for some of y'all, you might have caught on, but for those who really aren't on social media like that, I have officially changed everything over to edible activists. So you might have heard at the very tail end of my shows, I say food talks in color. I use that as my social media. I won't go down a rabbit hole, but when I started this platform years ago, I had this grand big vision and I held on to the name, and the podcast was Edible Activist. I was trying to separate the two. I am a firm believer in alignment and clarity. And as I grow older and wiser, clarity and alignment is super important to me. So I'm excited to share that change with you. So moving forward, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, X, and all the things, edible activists. Very simple. So that's a milestone. The next thing that I want to name that's connected to that, for some time, I had been wanting to trademark the name, like make it official, trademark it with the USTPO. I might have those letters mixed up. And I finally pushed that application through. And when I tell you, I felt amazing. Oh my gosh, God is good. Now, it's going to take about a year, and we do not know what they're going to come back with, but I will let the great ancestors and God take care of that. I do want to shout out Chrissy of Charismatic Creations in with supporting me with that application process. It is so good to know people who have gone through a thing that you need to go through. And so I'm super excited. Like I was so pressed when I hit the submit button. So that's definitely something else that I want to name as a milestone. At the top of this year, some of you all know, we kicked off a wonderful photo shoot that was led and curated by the amazing Lita Harrison, who is a phenomenal photographer and documenter. And to be in an art gallery in space of Black women growers and just capture them in their essence was really, really phenomenal. And though we haven't shared out too this year, I actually didn't share out too much about that photo shoot, but I look forward to it manifesting in different ways. Listen, I'm a documenter myself. I am a digital archivist, all the things, all the great things that you all claim that I am. And so I believe that even when you document something, it may not have a specific purpose in that moment, but it can manifest into something else. So we were super excited because I knew that this year I really want to focus in on the Black woman grower. With that, we did a live podcast featuring Falani Spivey of Bird's Nest Box at the Line DC in partnership with Full Service Radio. So I want to definitely shout them both out with their support. I love a good live. Like my audience, they show up, they're energetic. It was fun. It was great. It was magnetic. It was energetic. It was all the things. And so definitely want to highlight that because I believe in in-person connection, and doing a live show is one way, a great big way to connect with your audience. Other few things that I want to name as achievements or milestones, if you will, of this year was attending the Black Farmers Conference in North Carolina. Shout out to Falani for inviting me, extending the invitation. I don't know that I've ever been in a room with elders, Black elders primarily, who have been stewarding the land for decades. The synergy that was in the room, the wisdom that was in that room was beyond words. And I got to meet some of the most amazing people. Uncle Vern, aka the Watermelon Man, was one of them, and also the amazing Pickfords. If you don't know about the Pickfords, please look them up. It was it was a weekend that when I came back to DC, I was like, "Oh my gosh, can we recreate it? Can we recreate it?" But that was great to experience being in that room, listening to still the challenges of farming while being Black, and but also the joy in it. So just to be in that room and just soak up wisdom. I any moment, any opportunity that I have to sit next to an elder and hear their story and just shut my mouth, I'm there. So that was a really great experience. Next milestone, I attended the South by Southwest conference in Austin, and I was a panelist speaker. I was nervous, didn't know what to expect. I'd never been to South by Southwest before. I've been to Austin a few times, but never attended that conference over what, 4, 5, 6,000 people. But to also speak was very different for me because I'm so used to being behind the mic podcast. But that was a really dope experience. So I want to shout out the folks who not only tapped me to be a part, but also the person who told um, this particular um, person to look into me, to look into the show. So thank you all so much. Let's see. Flew to LA, The Line. They celebrated their 10th anniversary. They flew out a few brand partners to celebrate. I had an opportunity to interview two amazing Black women who are the owners of Prosperity Market. They are actually from DC, from Maryland, rather. And to do this collaboration with the Line LA, Full Service Radio, that was really cool. Shout out to Jack for like turning that space into podcast pop up, and then there were some dope artists that had some artwork up. So that was really fun. Let's see. Homegrown. We did a homegrown kickback, y'all. It was so much fun to invite dope Black growers, farmers, chefs into a space and literally kick back. It was the homegrown kickback. It was so much fun. Definitely want to recreate that vibe, the vibe, as the Yangans would say. That was really fun, and shout out to the line for making that happen. I also hosted a youth group from Common Good City Farm, which I'd never done before. Had never hosted actually really anyone other than a guest in the studio, but a group of youth, amazing youth like DC youth. That was so incredible. I actually came to them as a part one of like sharing your story. But then part two, I was just like, we need to get them out. Let's try to get them into the studio. So them and their guides, mentors, bust them down. They came into the studio. They were so excited, so amazed, and not afraid to like speak and to hear how they connect with one another and how not just growing, but this space of like being with their peers was just so important. And they spoke so highly of their mentors, their counselors. It was kids are I love kids. Like they are so inspirational. And we ended up turning that into an actual podcast. So please go back and listen to that show. All right. What other things happened this year? We also rounded out a series of events at the line with another live event that featured Gail Taylor, Three-Part Harmony, which was so much fun. Gail, also known as the People's Farmer, and an inspo to all Black growers and farmers and cultivators in this area. So much fun. So dope. Shout out to Gail. Shout out to everyone who showed up. Again, love a good live event. Um, the other thing I want to mention too. So going back to the name change for Edible Activists, new website, which is just phase one. But now this website actually has my commerce on it. So not only check out the new website, but also purchase a t-shirt because they're on there now. And to round out the key accomplishments, most recently I was able to share my personal story on someone else's platform. Her name is Miriam Flaxman, and her podcast is centered around food, nutrition, and so she invited me on to share my personal story. And it's very rare that I get invited on somebody else's show to talk and speak. And when I get the opportunity to do it, I love it because I love being heard and I love being seen. Um, we all do. We all need it. And so I was able to do that. And I just want to shout out Miriam for inviting me because it was so much fun. And I encourage you all to listen to that episode on YouTube. So her show is Miriam Flaxman. You can find it on YouTube and you can actually see it's actually a live interview of me and Miriam speaking and her diving into my personal story. So, none of this was done by myself. So I acknowledge my community, I acknowledge partners, I acknowledge your support to make this possible. Even at times when we feel like we're doing something by ourselves, you're not. There's always someone. And so I appreciate everyone that helped make this year possible. Two is better than one when you choose right. Always, that is something I stick with. Two is better than one when you choose right. So I want to thank you to everybody who helped me with these key milestones this past year because I did not do it by myself. The other thing that I want to name before I close out is as I was reflecting, the thought of doing more came up because it's something that I struggle with and feeling like I could always be doing more, I can always be doing more. And when I sat down and I wrote this list out, and which isn't inclusive of everything, and don't even get me started on my personal journey outside of this of 2024, I said, damn, Mel, like, I am proud of you. I had to say that to myself, girl, like, I am proud of you. I am so proud of you. And so if you are struggling with the should be doing more mindset, take a moment, reflect, write out everything that you have achieved this year from personal, family, any and everything. Any and everything. I encourage you to do that. Okay. Like no one, all the things that I just named, no one accomplishes this much alone. Like I said, and two is always better than one when you choose right. And also, as you're reflecting, think about those who help make your accomplishments possible too. So as we look ahead to 2025, I'm excited because I just feel like I'm in a great place. I'm gonna rest a bit and really also determine. I've been doing some reframing and restructuring for edible activists, and so I look forward to that manifesting the way that it should and sharing that out with you all. And um, I definitely want to share in this excitement for edible activists' continued growth, and especially in the Black growing spaces and the activism spaces. But I also want to expand in ways that I have been afraid to do so. And so 2025 is, I don't care. I'm going to do what I want to do. That still supports and amplifies the voices that I aim to amplify. And that will be that. So I'm excited for what that looks like and to share that with you. So again, as I close on this episode, I want to thank you for your ongoing support and being a part of this journey. And cheers to more growth, collaboration, and impact the year ahead. Let's continue to amplify, connect, and inspire together. Thank y'all so much. Peace and be safe.